let's talk politics. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tony D2 Wild checking in once again for a discussion video I wanted to drop for you guys and girls today. And I noticed this, like, I wanted to drop this topic because it actually is a very good topic to be talking about. And I find out that a lot of people via Twitter are always like coming back at me. So it's really good to know that my generation, as well as people a little bit older than me, not like people a little bit older, but you know, I'm 24, so people like in their 30s and people like even 18, they're all into, you know, politics and their opinions and their beliefs and whatnot. So I wanted to really hear what you guys think about, you know, what your current stance on the politics is and all that. I really wasn't into all these type of things in the government. I believed, you know, the whole thing that your vote doesn't count or our vote doesn't count, and you know that the government runs on its own, like without whether we're involved or not. And in some ways I feel like that's true, but in some ways I actually look and pay attention now and see that we actually do have a voice, whether you believe it or not. People tend to think that we don't have a voice, but they're not really paying attention to how to get that voice. Me personally, I am going for Bernie Sanders, not Hillary Clinton, and mainly is because of what Bernie's message is on that voice, you know what I'm saying? Main things for me, you know, I respect the Clintons. They've done their job. You know, she's the reason why I had health care when I was a kid growing up, you know, and many kids to this day have health care, you know, because of that. My main problem with her, though, is that her whole, you know, concept is about what she's going to do for me. Shout out to my boy, Richie Rich, by the way, with me and him and chopping it up. She's telling me what she's going to do for me, like what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. It's all about what she's going to do, what I'm going to do, her, I'm. When Bernie is talking about what we're going to do, what me and you, what the whole society as a whole has to do. And that meaning is that, like, you know, people tend to think that you just get the right person into office and they get everything done. That's not how it works. If you want a good example, look at Obama. Obama was a great president. He did a lot of good things, but he couldn't get his full potential. And I feel like people, you know, try to get at him for that, but they don't really understand why he wasn't able to get shit done. It's because when people go and vote for these people as presidents, you also have to pay attention to you voting for Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives, all that stuff. Like, all that stuff matters as well. Like, the president can only do so much. It's really about what Congress does, what laws they pass. So you got to vote those same people in. Like, when you go in, you got to pay attention to your midterm elections, where you voting in your governors, your mayors, or whatever, your you know, your city mayors, your the governors, because those are the people who, you know, and those your representatives and senators, those are the people that go to Congress and pass these bills and whatnot. People like, for me, instance, in Georgia, Obamacare, it doesn't exist here. We don't have Obamacare in Georgia. All we have is the healthcare.gov, which we go to, and there's no affordable healthcare. I don't have insurance. I don't. You know, for me to get insurance, they was trying to charge me $180 a month for basically where I was gonna pay $50 to go and get, you know, co-payment, and $50 to go to see the doctor. Prescriptions not included, dental, none of that shit's included. $6,000 deductible for the full year. So meaning basically I had to spend up to $6,000 in medical bills, and then after that, then my insurance would pick up the rest. So, you know, it's basically, you know, it only would make sense if it only would become cheap if something happened where I needed a heart transplant, God forbid, or some crazy shit like that. You know, me being young, you know, I don't see the doctor that much. You know, I'm healthy, you know. So it doesn't have much of an effect with me as for somebody a little bit older. I am going to get insurance, but at the time I got exempted because I couldn't find the correct, you know, plan that was for me. I wasn't trying to dish out $180 a month for basically nothing. For instance, what I'm saying is, so I thought I heard somebody nod. For instance, what I'm saying is, I go pay $50 to go see the doctor with my insurance, or have no insurance and I go pay $70. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I might go see the doctor only 2 times, 3 times a year, winter time most likely. You know, prescription, they don't cover that. So whatever I'm gonna pay for prescription on insurance is the same I pay without it. It doesn't make any sense, you know. It's really just a what if, you know, and God forbid, you know, something happens. But even if I don't, say that I broke my arm, say that something happened, I had my damn appendix busted or some shit, God forbid, knock on wood, I can still go to the doctor. They cannot reject you if you don't have insurance. But yeah, I'll probably have to pay $10,000, $15,000. Who knows, whatever the medical dues will be. So my bad going deep into that. But that's, you know, stuff like that. I just went deep into healthcare basically. Forgive me about that. But I'm going for Bernie mainly based upon, you know, what he's trying to get the message is. Get me in, you know, I need to get me in the office, and we're going to change things. We're going to elect the right people who are going to pass these laws. You know, there's people out there, there are people in government who are willing to pass these laws, you know, taxing the billion-dollar people, you know, for free health care, for, you know, for lower health care, and for free, you know, college tuition, you know, things like that. And people feel like, you know, his policies don't make sense and whatnot. I mean, it makes sense to me when the Walton family, who's worth like billions of dollars, you know, when basically, I don't know, that he says it all the time, the 1%, the richest 1% owns basically like 90-80% of the wealth. Correct me if I'm wrong down in there. Feel free to blast me, talk the shit you want to talk, and tell me who you're supporting. You know, a lot of people gonna say I'm supporting Trump, and I ain't gonna lie, like at first Trump was like just retarded sounding to me. But I think well, Kasich as well. But besides like Trump, Rubio, and Cruz, I'll take Trump over all them motherfuckers. Them dudes are just retarded. Trump is like a secret Democrat. If you actually go watch some of his old videos, you'll actually see that he's went along with, you know, Democrats for many years. So it's kind of weird what he's up to. But pass that aside. But Hillary Clinton, you know, it's just certain things about her I don't fully feel the trust on with her. Bill Clinton was a great president, but he did take away Glass-Steagall, which was one of the reasons why we fell into this great recession. If you know, Glass-Steagall was something that basically, something I can't get deep into it because my grandfather and my friend was telling me about that. Shout out to Deshaun. But it helped Wall Street, you know, with their money, and I won't want to go straight into it, but just go research Glass-Steagall. It was being picked away at by different, you know, like Ronald Reagan and all of them, but if Bill Clinton basically wiped it out, and that's one good reason why we went into this, you know, that recession when Bush was in office. Not saying that, I mean, that the whole war itself was just stupid as shit, something that Bernie went against and Hillary was all for. So there's another thing, you know, people tend to think Hillary's for the black people and all this and that bullshit. Bernie's been doing it way longer than that, you know. Hopefully the public will see. I feel as more people hear about Bernie, the more people will begin to switch their vote. Before I even knew about really who Bernie was, when the race was really big, I was all for Hillary because Clinton is the name I heard my whole life. Clinton. Bill Clinton was great, this and that. Yeah, he was. But all I heard was Clinton, so I'm just automatic. But when I actually sat down and started paying attention to this shit, and seeing it and listening to the policies and to what they're doing with their beliefs and messages, I'm for Bernie. And I see a lot of people becoming, you know, people my age are for Bernie Sanders. People call him a socialist, not understanding that majority of all the things that we ever done, like Social Security, you know, the food stamps and the Medicaid and all those type of services, many of them were called socialists, like was a socialist thing back in the day, you know, providing for society. But now it's like, you know, we want to do, you know, free tuition or you know, free healthcare. He wants to call everybody they want to call him a socialist because of that. But in the Constitution, if I'm correct, if I'm not, correct me, you know, or Truman or Theodore Roosevelt, those presidents all stated that healthcare is a must, is a right for all citizens. We all should have healthcare, free healthcare. So, you know, it's really a battle of us against these pharmacist companies and all these people that's just fucking making bread. I mean, there's millions of companies, like this oil company that fucking they laid off like hundreds of workers and made $18 million. Like, these motherfuckers do not care about us, these companies, these big companies. But these Republicans, they want to take the taxes off. Like, let's take taxes away from them. Let's let them make more money because they'll hire more people. They'll create more jobs. Them niggas are trying to get their bread up, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. Stop thinking that, you know. I don't understand the conservative people's minds or whatnot, but my main thing is, like, you see Apple, I don't know why this is Apple or AT&T, these big huge companies who don't want to pay us minimum wage, so they send the jobs down in Mexico or overseas. They send the jobs there, and they're not really, like, they're paying them minimum wage, so their expenses are so low, so they're just making bread. You can't really, you know, interfere with that as well. There's so much loopholes into this tax shit. So that's why we need to tax the fuck out of these corporations. But I want you guys to feel free, down below, comment, let me know your stance on who you're voting for, why I'm wrong if you believe I'm wrong, or what I was wrong at, correct me if I was wrong, or let me know what you believe or what you agree with or disagree with me in the comment section. I've been wanting to drop this video and say a little bit of what I feel. You know, this is really just coming out. Like, this was not a pre-planned video or nothing, so I might have stumbled or said some things incorrectly. You know, I'm just speaking my mind right now, you know, and I'm for Bernie Sanders. Pay attention to the politics this year, because this president that's going to be elected is going to have a huge, like, decision on our lives. Like, I'm 24. This next president, I am pretty sure, is whoever they're going to be, is most likely going to be elected on 2 terms. That's 8 years. I'm 24. So when I'm 32, they're going to be gone. That's a long time. Like, you know, that's the majority of my 20s. That's the rest of my 20s, you know, and coming on to my early 30s. So pay attention, to guys. If you're 18 and up, if you're about to be turning, if you're 17 and up, pay attention, because you can vote. Go register to vote and do the right thing, just like Spike Lee did. He just endorsed Bernie Sanders. Do the right fucking thing. It's your boy Tony D2 Wild. Checking in, checking out, guys. I love you. Peace.